Hi, I'm Charles with AniCap. The story begins as we watch our protagonist. He is a businessman 9 to 5 by day and degenerate gamer by night. Eventually, his poor life choices catch up to him and he dies from a heart attack. He regains consciousness soon after and wonders if he's in a hospital. The room looks pretty old though, and what's just a little more strange is that he sees a flying dog. Just then, he sees a reflection of himself and is shocked to find that he is now a baby. His name is now Ars, and we move forward to when he is 3 years old. Ars eventually realized that he had died and was reincarnated. When the shock of this news passed, Ars got right to work and mastered reading and writing, while also becoming fairly knowledgeable about this new world. He was born in the Summerforth Empire, which rules the entire continent of Summerforth. Based on what he's seen so far, Ars has concluded that he isn't even on Earth anymore. Magic exists in this new world and lets those that use it conjure mysterious phenomena. This excites Ars greatly since it's pretty much like a video game. The Levant family Ars was born into is a noble household and they manage a small region called Lamberg. He lives in a huge house now and there are a ton of servants. There is even a live-in chef, so Ars thinks that being reincarnated is the best thing to ever happen to him. During these 3 years, one other thing has become very clear to Ars. He has a power that nobody else does. Ars goes to watch some soldiers fight, and they admire how often he comes to see them. He reveals to us that this unique ability is called appraisal. He uses it on a soldier named Milius, and it allows Ars to see that this guy has a high aptitude as an archer. Milius is shocked that Ars knows his name, and Ars wonders if he has ever used a bow before. Milius wouldn't be caught dead using a bow, as he believes that a real man fights his opponents at close range. Ars doesn't tell anyone about his ability, so he just tells the guy that he has a feeling he would be good with a bow. Ars pleads for him to try, and Milius can't deny him. Milius has never shot a bow before, so the others recommend that he get closer to the target. Ars asks him to just try from this distance, and everyone is shocked when Milius hits the target dead center. Everyone thinks it was just beginner's luck, but Milius does it over and over again. Everyone is amazed, and they all suggest that he become an archer. Naturally, they wonder how Ars knew Milius would be good with a bow, and Ars just credits his instincts. Ars decides to hide his ability, since he doubts that anyone would believe that he can see numbers that represent abilities and aptitudes. Ars' ability is definitely real, but the only problem is that he can't use it on himself for some reason. That night, Ars has dinner, and we meet his father Raven, who Ars is admittedly kind of scared of because he always looks angry. Ars uses his ability on him and explains just how amazing he is. His father rose from farmers to noble using his martial prowess. His prowess stat is so high that he can take out 10 men single-handedly. Raven heard about Ars using his instincts earlier, so he wants him to work hard on improving them. Ars will be the lord of the land one day, and the ability to discern the gifts of others will help him greatly. Ars decided to learn more about the Empire after hearing that, but this just revealed how difficult the road ahead will be. The rulers of the Summerforth Empire are corrupt, and peasant revolts are erupting everywhere. The nation is in chaos. If nothing changes, the empire will fall, and it will lead to widespread war. Ars fears that as lord, he will have to lead troops into battle. He questions if he will really be able to protect Lamberg, but he desperately wants to, since all the people have been so nice to him. Just then, Ars thinks about what his father said about discerning gifts, and he gets an idea. Ars heads into town to use his appraisal ability on people, but using it so much really tires out his eyes. Just then, some poor kid gets kicked out of a shop. He doesn't look like the locals, and some lady tells her kid to stay away from what they call a Malkin. Malkins are a group of people who came to Summerforth from across the sea. Most of them were brought as slaves, and they are looked down upon. Just then, everyone is shocked as Ars gives the kid some bread, and they wonder why he would be helping a filthy Malkin. Ars wonders if the kid is okay when he begins to cry, but he is shocked when his appraisal ability reveals the kid's amazing stats. The kid doesn't have a single flaw, and his abilities are on par with one of Japan's greatest figures named Oda. Ars determines that the kid will definitely be a force to be reckoned with in the future, but the kid just thanks him for the bread and leaves. Ars follows the kid named Reitz, but the kid warns him not to, since the townspeople will get mad at him. Just then, Reitz is shocked, as Ars asks him to be his retainer. Ars' plan is to use his appraisal ability to gather the best people he can find, so he can make his domain stronger. Ars explains that he is the son of the Lord of the Land and tells Reitz that he can sense great talent in him. The kid points out that they just met, but Ars doesn't want to tell him about his ability and just says that he has a good feeling about him. Reitz points out that he is a Malkin and doesn't want to cause trouble for Ars, but Ars says that he will take care of everything. The kid still declines, but Ars fears that he might never meet anyone with such incredible stats ever again, so he chases him. Ars hears the kid's stomach growling, so he convinces him to come to his house where they have an amazing chef. Ars was hoping to give Reitz a feast, but the prejudice against the Malkins runs deep. The chef only gives Reitz some beans, and the servants ask him to leave when he is done. Ars doesn't think he can change what they believe, so instead he shocks everyone by just offering to share his food. The servants try to stop him, but Ars silences them by pointing out that Reitz is his honored guest. They apologize and agree to give the kid more food. Reitz then explains that he used to be part of a mercenary group, but a lot of them died in battle and the rest of the group disbanded. He has been wandering around aimlessly because no one will hire a kid with no accomplishments to his name. Reitz was with his previous group his entire life, so Ars realizes how hard the disbanding must have been for him. The servants think that it's time for Reitz to leave, but Ars refuses to send him away and reveals that he's going to make Reitz his retainer. A servant thinks it's a terrible idea and warns that Ars' father will agree with him. He is correct, as Raven tells Ars that taking a Malkin as a retainer is an outrageously foolish idea. Ars explains that Reitz has incredible abilities, but Raven states that Malkins are overwhelmingly inferior to the people of Summerforth. He thinks it would be impossible for a Malkin to have incredible abilities, so Ars is disappointed that even his own father believes in the conventional wisdom about Malkins. Ars is sure that Reitz will become incredibly valuable for Lamberg's future, so he requests that they test Reitz's abilities to prove it. Ars reminds his father about his exceptional instincts, so Raven agrees to test the kid. If he proves himself to be talented, then Raven promises to employ him as a soldier. Starting as a soldier isn't as good as being Ars' retainer, but Ars is sure that Reitz will be able to make a name for himself very soon, considering just how amazing his stats are. Just then, Ars is shocked as Raven reveals that he will fight Reitz in a mock duel for the test. Reitz will only win if he defeats him. Ars points out that Reitz is only 14 years old and he is not sure if he will be able to win against Raven, as he was blessed with God-given skill in battle. Ars is still confident in Reitz, but the kid's prowess stat isn't as high as his father's. Raven explains that they won't fight on even footing and he will give Reitz a handicap. This sounds okay, so the guys agree. Before the fight, Reitz wonders if Ars is doing all this for a Malkin out of pity. Ars offers to call off the fight if Reitz doesn't want to be his retainer, but Reitz explains that he would be honored. It's the best offer he has ever received in his entire life, but it's just too unbelievable. Ars assures him by declaring that he needs Reitz. Ars will be the Lord of the Land one day, so when that time comes, he wants Reitz by his side. Reitz is inspired and promises to do his best. Outside, the other soldiers are shocked to see a Malkin. Raven instructs him to take a practice sword and explains that Reitz will win if he can land a blow against him before time runs out. Ars acknowledges that his father has the highest prowess stat in the land, but Reitz just needs to land one blow, so he might have a chance to win. The two fighters introduce themselves, and Raven tells Reitz to show him what he's got. The fight begins, and Reitz can immediately tell that even though they are just using practice swords, Raven will cut him in half if he lands an attack. Reitz is in awe when he sees how quickly Raven is able to follow up his own attack without losing any power. Raven pushes him back a bit, and Ars begins to lose hope as his father is just too powerful. The other soldiers know better though, as they are shocked by Reitz's performance. Even when Raven goes easy on them, they can barely hold on to their swords, let alone land a blow on Raven. However, this Malkin they are watching is actually keeping pace with Raven. That isn't all though, as they can tell that Raven isn't holding back and he is actually going all out. Reitz gets sent flying, and the soldiers determine that no matter how impressive the Malkin is, there is no way he can land a blow on the land's greatest swordsman. Time is running out, and Reitz remembers what Ars told him. Reitz once again declares that he will do his best, and Ars is surprised to see how much his expression has changed. Reitz moves in to attack, but Raven is able to predict his movements. Everyone is shocked though when Reitz nearly manages to land a blow, but Raven explains that the fight is over. Reitz sees that there is a bit of time left, but the fight is over for a different reason. Everyone is then shocked as they realize that Ritz's attack actually grazed Raven, and Raven declares that Ritz has won. Ars knew his friend was gifted, and Raven keeps his promise to allow Ritz to become a soldier. Raven then acknowledges that Ars was right. Raven is able to tell that Ritz has true talent as well, and predicts that he might become a top-class swordsman in the future. That isn't all though, as it's clear that Ars' ability to find talent is real, and it might even be an exceptional power of his own. Raven reveals that he feared how Ars would do in the chaotic future that lies ahead, but what he has seen recently makes him believe that Ars will become a great man. He could become a powerful noble, or maybe even the emperor. He says that this is just a joke though, since the throne is too lofty of a goal for the lord of such a small domain. As long as Ars carries on the family name, Raven will be happy. Ritz's performance wins over all the soldiers, as they now all ask him for fighting tips. Afterwards, Ars is amazed by Ritz's glow up, and we learn that Ritz has decided to take on servant duties, so he can help out as much as he can. Ars doesn't want him to overdo it since they are just a small domain, but having a liege to serve is like a dream for Ritz. If it wasn't for Ars, Ritz is sure that he would have died in the streets, so he thanks his new friend. He vows to spend the rest of his life repaying this debt, and Ars is happy about the start of his quest to build the strongest domain. Thanks for watching my recap. Sign up to my free newsletter if you want to show some support to the channel. Link is in the description.